Hi friends, hello. Today I am going to introduce a new term, daring patriotism. In fact, it is about the Indo-China relationship. So here it is. Patriotism is a feeling of being honest to one's motherland that brings one closer to one's nation. It enables its possessor to relish patriotic feelings for the motherland and exhibit obeisance for the nation. History shows that thousands of real patriots have been there who martyred their lives for the sake of their motherland. Patriotism is such a strong feeling that ensures an inseparable connectivity between a nation and its citizens. Every citizen can be a real patriot provided he remains honest to the nation. Today's world has witnessed that man has become a slave to the material comforts and modern technology. He is not at all ready to live without the frivolous and the illusory modern gadgets to which he is prone to. Now in this situation, it becomes very important. It requires a lot of courage to exhibit this patriotism at present. The present day global political scenario presents a nightmare situation which indicates to the threat of the Third World War, because most of the nations are either engaged at war or they have developed a strong grudge against each other. Referring to the same, the ongoing border face-off between India and China has become hostile once again. Hence, the Indo-China relations are deteriorating incessantly. This conflict was for the first time seen in 1962 when China had invaded India. And in that war, the Indian forces were defeated by the Chinese army. It was soon followed by another war in 1965. But this time the Chinese forces had to go back from the battlefield because of the resplendent valor of the Indian soldiers. Only last year in 2019, the Doklam issue once again aggravated this hostility between the two giant nations. However, the Doklam confrontation proved that India was nonetheless weaker than China. Very recently in 2020, in the beginning of 2020, the border issue on the LAC, that's line of actual control, and the demarcation of the Pangong Lake in Galwan Valley has given rise to this conflict once again. This brief history of Indo-China relationship very clearly shows the Chinese policy to usurp the land areas of the neighboring countries. The seizure of thousands of miles of land area of India, the capture of Tibet, grabbing a number of villages of Nepal on the China-Nepal border are some of the burning examples of the shark policy of China. Besides this, China has been having an upper hand over the weak and poor nations by providing them huge amounts of money either as donations or as loans, and thus building up a Chinese lobby or colony only in order to claim its dominance as the superpower. It's an over-ambition. This stubborn over-ambition of China has obviously earned a number of enemies who are developing or who have already developed a strong grudge or envy against China. They have developed a strong grudge against the flourishing economy of China. So many social activists, economists, and political leaders believe that the only and the most effective weapon against our nemesis China is to discourage the use of Chinese goods and products. Since the empowerment of China rests upon its strong economy and financial status, the boycott of Chinese goods will damage the backbone of Chinese empire. And then only, if it happens, then only the tyrannical and power maniac Chinese tendency will be controlled and can be controlled to some extent. In fact, China earns trillions of dollars every year from the international markets of all types of goods and raw materials. Above all, the IT sector of China, information technology sector of China, has proved to be the most effective and a vital source of income for China. If these international markets, the pocket markets of China, ban and boycott the import of Chinese goods, all types of Chinese goods, the Chinese economy will have to bear a spontaneous collapse. Hence, the monopoly and the tyranny of China will certainly come to an end. In the year 2020, the whole world, almost all the countries of the world, have been quite adversely affected by COVID-19, a deadly virus that has affected almost all the countries of the world. And this deadly virus is supposed to have been spread by China. The USA, the sub-American continent nations, all the European countries, India, as well as many other countries have been very adversely affected by this COVID-19. Their economy, their health status have been marred, have been fatally damaged because of this COVID-19. And for all this, the only responsible factor has been China. Now this has really infuriated the superpower America, most of the European countries, and many of the countries of the world. And it may lead the mankind to witness the Third World War. And if it happens, no one can surmise the predictability of the existence of this planet. Since China has been an arch rival to India and has always been creating some troubles, obstacles for India, it is the high time to teach a proper lesson to China. Our valiant soldiers are deployed on the borders and are performing their duties with absolute alacrity, guaranteeing the life, liberty, and happiness of their citizens. If our fearless soldiers are all the time ready to sacrifice their lives for the sake of their nation, can't we, the Indian civilians, do something so important, something so vital that can reflect our patriotism? Can't we do such things that reflects our love for the nation? Yes, we can do. I believe we can do, and we must do. As the unarmed soldiers of our nation, at least we can do something so vital. We can do something so important which can prove to be a vital cause for the decline of the Chinese empire. What is that something? What is that something we can do? That something is boycott the Chinese goods at all levels. Stop using the Chinese products and goods at all levels. I have already mentioned it earlier. The strength of China rests upon its strong economy, not upon its military power. So, if we the Indians boycott the Chinese goods, ban the import of Chinese goods, stop and restrict all the use of all kinds of IT products, I am sure enough that it is going to blow off the Chinese economy. It's going to be a fatal blow to the Chinese economy. And that will be a huge victory for all we the Indians. Because, almost 50% or more than that of the whole products of China have been consumed in India. So if we boycott them, that will really be a huge blow to the Chinese economy. And this I would call a daring patriotism. Daring because in the beginning it's really difficult to boycott all the Chinese goods because we all are habituated. We are used to using these Chinese products. That's why it will really be daring. That's why I have called it daring patriotism. And if we do this, then only our future generations will feel proud of us. So, let's pledge. Let's take an oath together. Let's decide together to exhibit this daring patriotism. Jai Hind.